Hey guys, Rito here. Welcome to another iRacing video. We are at Le Mans this time. I've been doing a lot of Le Mans the past week in the HPD, and that is why I am now in A class, as you can see. And this is my first race in IMSA, and as well my first race in the GTP. And this was a really good race. There was a good amount of action. And yeah. I should go back to VR very soon. I'm gonna try to buy a Quest 3 and see how that goes instead of another Pimax and waste my money on defective products. And yeah, give that a try, and the resolution is good enough anyways. That's about the resolution I ran on my Pimax anyways, so it'll be fine, and we'll see that soon, maybe in 2 weeks, maybe, we'll see. So here we go for the start. I start a bit late, which makes the BMW behind slow down a little bit. And yeah, I started on pole. I managed to do a 3-minute and 21 seconds, 0.5, which was 1 second faster than Jack back there, who just made a little bit of a mistake and gave me a tiny bit of gap that I then threw away by going wide. I don't know how that was not off track. Also, you may have a hard time hearing my spotter. I messed up the settings and I lowered him way too much. I have already fixed that for the next video. So here we're just trying to stay ahead. I end up locking up, which again makes him a bit closer. And now he's gonna have a very good slipstream to pass me here. I'm not gonna defend really. There's no point. It's a 35-minute race. And by the way, I also need to add that to the overlays and the lap count as well. So there, I let him go. Now I'll just try and stick with him for as long as I can. But you can see in the left corner, you can see there's my fuel overlay. You can see the estimated laps. It's about 11 laps. BMW makes another small mistake there. Goes a bit wide. I'm not gonna try and go for a pass, there's no point. I know he's faster anyways. In practice he had a pretty good lap. I think he just may have messed up quali. Yeah, last week I did a lot of races in the HPD here around Le Mans. Had some really good races and some very unlucky ones as well, but I managed to gain quite a bit of SR. These cars feel really good in the corners around here, at least in the fixed setup. I don't have setups for the open, so I don't even give a try. Sadly, next season they're gonna update again, and we'll see how that goes. They'll make it more realistic, I guess. I personally prefer fun over realism, but it is a simulator, so it makes sense. And we'll see, maybe I'll still enjoy it. Now P1 has pulled away quite a bit. I lost the slipstream and now I have to keep Daniel behind me. And I'll skip ahead sometimes, just so you're not bored of watching me go in a straight line. If there's any action, that's when I'll catch back up. I was setting up the fuel there, so I didn't even realize it was gonna be a fueling race. This is one of those sections where I'm slowest at, so I might need a bit more practice these two corners. I'm just not confident enough yet with the car, and that's gonna change in 3 or 4 weeks, so oh well. Daniel went a little bit wide there. Might have been a 1X. I can probably also enter a little faster there. Also, a lot of the information you see right now on screen, I don't see it in the race. I have disabled a lot of overlays, just so I don't get too distracted with data and just focus on driving. So I don't see IRs, SRs, I don't see any of that. I just see the relative and my speedometer there, my dashboard, and here the van goes for a pass here. I thought about just helping them, see if they fight going into this corner, but Daniel decides to just let him pass, not fight. So now just managing the car, just focus on driving, no mistakes, because that's the thing I'm trying to improve at, is just consistency. Then they seem to be a little slower. Then here they make a bit of a mistake, they go wide. There you go, another mistake from them, which puts Daniel back up. Now they're probably gonna fight a bit and lose more time, which gives me a good gap just to not have to worry about pushing too much. I'm still pushing, but just don't have them on my mind the whole time. This is also a turn where I can probably be a bit more brave We skipped a bit ahead. They are still battling each other. You can see in the relative their times are pretty much the same, which is losing them a bunch of time. But yeah, we'll see how VR goes again. Now I've moved to triple screens, as you can see, but there are some cars where I feel like I'd be better in VR, because I really miss that perspective, that depth perception, that even with the correct FOV I still sometimes suck with. Now we're 2.3 seconds ahead. I did a bit of an adjustment to the fuel. I actually set it to overfuel a little bit, and you'll see later that was a really good idea. Also, let me know if you prefer this more commentary scripted video format, because now I actually wrote a script of what to say in certain parts and whatever, because that's what I struggled with. So now just planning ahead, editing the video according to the commentary and all of that stuff. And we're about to start to get some traffic. And you will also see that I'm about to make a really bad mistake. Because the car ahead, I see the car ahead, they're gonna go into the pits, and I'm like, okay, why are they going a lap early? And then it finally hits me, oh right, he's probably trying to avoid traffic by pitting now. Because you can see that there's a lot of GT3s ahead of us. And I make a very last second move that IRL would have probably been a penalty. Also here I put a lot of trust in that car. Do not go a bit wide and send me into the barriers. So here we go, I see him go in, and I'm like, why? And then whoop, very last second, I turn in.
Left side, clear left. Pit lane speed limit is 60 kilometers per hour.
I'm not very good at estimating when to brake correctly for the pits.
Car number 16 is now leading. This is the last lap of fuel. Okay, Miguel, in this lap, box this lap.
And here, you're gonna see another strange thing. You're gonna see that the BMW does not move after I start
Front right,
back up.
93%, rear right, 98.
And at first I was wondering, did he have damage somewhere? Did he hit the barrier in the Porsche curves or something? Because it did seem to me on my screen, but it was just netcode. And it turns out he just sped, and they probably had a penalty, which is very unfortunate. He would have probably won the race. And here I go for a move and nearly spin myself. And then here the car decided I'll just spin the wheels for no reason. I don't know, I don't. I never had that happen. But managed to recover, lost a bit of time. Now, at the end of the lap, we'll see if we can still come out in first place. We'll see where Daniel ends up. Because I did lose time at the exit, so he may have passed me. So you go past one, then Pavan, and Daniel's right there. And I just about managed to pass him. I had to really send it there. And we managed first place for now. There's this GT3 that's gonna slightly slow me down. I almost lose it into the grass. But then Daniel gets slowed down slightly there, which puts him out of my slipstream. And that probably gives me the best chance to stay ahead. There was that cone there that scared me a bit, because I know you can get contact warning for hitting the cones, and I was trying to get the 0x, so I was just avoiding it just in case. Here we're gonna have another GT3. I let go of the gas a bit earlier to see if I can manage better when I pass him. I wanna pass him at the exit of the turn, and sadly for Daniel, he makes a bit of a whoopsie here, loses about another 2 seconds, 2 or 3 seconds. He's almost 4 seconds behind now. And here, I just have to make sure I don't make any mistakes till the end, which is harder when there's traffic, but just gotta manage it correctly. Also, let me know if there's any series you'd like me to try. I've been trying to practice a lot more for the races, which definitely has improved my racing. I always felt like I was the slowest of my iRacing in the lobby, so this race has boosted my confidence a little bit. Then again, it is Le Mans. It is a much easier track in my opinion, just like with my win in Daytona. That was also an easier track, as long as it doesn't rain. If it rains, I'll just not race, because again, I hate rain. I don't like driving in wet, so I'll just avoid it like the plague. Here we're gonna skip quite a bit again. I just don't want to show basically just me going around doing nothing. No action or anything. Daniel is still 4.56 seconds behind. But he slowly goes in. He is definitely a bit faster. Here I get a little bit held up by the LMP2. But I don't like just sending it on the slower cars. If I can, I'll just wait behind them and go for the better opportunity. I really don't care about losing a position if I'm at least being safer to drive. I don't like being overly aggressive or anything. And that made Daniel gain about a second on us. And now, the fuel thing is predicting 10 laps. But the thing is, I think there are no decimal numbers beyond the 00. So it's actually still at 11 laps. It's just that it doesn't show correctly yet. And you will find out that will throw some people off. And apparently it happened quite a few times in the series. I just watched someone do the same, and it happened in the open series as well, where the predicted the wrong amount of laps and the wrong amount of fuel. And it actually did happen to me in the HPD, where it went to 10 laps instead of 9, and I ran out of fuel in the long straight, which sucked. And for the next races I put a bit more fuel.
That's 2 minutes left, 2 minutes.
Also the overlay in the bottom right, I made it myself. I kind of made it inspired in the LMU overlays. Then I matched the colors with all the other overlays and my own theme with that orange gradient. I wish I could put the battery of the car there, but for some reason SimHub doesn't read that information correctly, so I can't really show the car's battery level or anything. I can do it in the iRacing overlay there where I have the fuel thing open, but I usually like to have that overlay off unless I need to change something. And here is where you're gonna need to pay attention to the relative, to Daniel more specifically, because you'll see his number go up, and now he goes gray because he didn't have enough fuel. He had to pit to put 1 lap of fuel, which means I now have a 14-second gap, second place. And I can probably chill for the rest of the lap. And I'll just show the full lap this time because it's the last one. And yeah, that's a 0x race. No incidents. There was some close calls, you saw, but overall, just stayed as consistent as I can be. And this will be my first IMSA race, my first win, pole position. You also see that Jack, which was the former leader, the one that passed me in the first lap, he disconnected. Well, after his penalty, he continued. And as you can see at the bottom there, he was battling that Ferrari and he decided to meet Mr. Barry R, as Steve would say. And that was the end of the race for him. Which is really unfortunate. He would have definitely won this race. But mistakes are mistakes. Also, there's a weird hole after the curb on that fast turn. There's a hole on the ground that really annoys me. As a 3D artist myself, I cannot unsee it. I'm just taking it easy, lifting early, just to minimize the chance of making mistakes. And there we are. P1. Let's go.
Nice one, Miguel. Great win. You deserved that today.
I was incredibly sweaty at the end, as you can probably imagine. I made a little comment there. First ever IMSA pole P1 0x. And I can probably retire. Especially now that they're gonna change the tires again. Oh well. Let's jump to the results. And I'm gonna do a new commentary because I did commentate on this, but now that I've edited the video, I want to change a little. But yeah, you can see we gain more SR. We're in the highest class already, so it's whatever. We get some IR, almost up to 1900. And yeah, what a race. I don't know what race I'm gonna do next or what video I'm gonna do next. I'm probably gonna do more of this, to be honest. I'm definitely not gonna do Bathurst because I'm not good there and I'm not good with GT3s. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments about this new format or just slightly different format. And I will catch you next time. Goodbye.